Hi, it's Iyada, Vedic astrologer. The moon is waxing and we will have an auspicious full moon on Saturday, February 24th. That falls in sidereal Leo in the lunar mansion of Magha, known in the West as the royal star of Regulus, in the heart of the lion, the constellation of Leo. Perhaps you have noticed that last year I usually did new moon videos and published only a post for the full moon. But this year I am uploading full moon videos and do usually a post here on YouTube or on my Facebook page for the new moons. And this is due to my increasing alignment with Vedic lifestyle. And I invite you, of course, to do the same, because we have 12 Vedic months. Each month ends with a full moon and starts on the first day after the prior full moon, which means that we go with the energy of a full moon into a new lunar month. That energy wanes and shifts in the middle of the cycle with the new moon. And afterwards, the energy increases again and blossoms in the full moon that marks the end of the lunar month. Month that takes its name after the lunar mansion. The full moon falls in at the end of the month. So we are in the Vedic month of Magha. And as you probably all know, the moon represents in Vedic philosophy our sensory mind with all its memories and fluctuations. And as the moon wanes and waxes again, it takes us mentally and emotionally on quite a journey. Vedic astrology invites us to observe that journey and learn from it at every present moment. So, what can we learn from this full moon in Magha in Leo? First, full moons in Leo as well as in Cancer are auspicious because these two signs, which are the signs of the two luminaries, the sun and the moon, sit in our Ajna chakra between the eyebrows. And this third eye chakra is the seat of the mind, whereas the 5 chakras below are the seat of the ether, air, fire, water and earth elements. When the full moon shines in Leo or in Cancer, the sun naturally dwells in the opposite signs of Aquarius or Capricorn. And these two signs, ruled by Saturn, are located in Muladhara chakra, the first chakra, related to the earth element, which means that during the full moons in Leo and in Cancer, there is an alignment between the first, the most material and tamasic chakra, and the 6th, most sattvic and spiritual chakra. And this alignment is a representation of the journey that Kundalini Shakti takes upwards towards self-realization. Our inner self, the divine self or soul, is considered to live in the heart, but it looks through the third eye. And when a full moon dwells in the lunar mansion of Ashlesha or Magha, it dwells in the third eye. Ashlesha and Magha are the last portion of Cancer, Ashlesha, and the first portion of Leo, Magha. And in these two lunar mansions, we touch one of the 3 Gandanta points between a water sign and a fire sign, which are karmic knots between the lunar nadi, Ida nadi, and the solar nadi, Pingala nadi. The Gandanta point between Ashlesha and Magha, at the end of Cancer and the beginning of Leo, which we touch in this full moon of Magha, is known as Rudra Granthi and is located in Ajna Chakra. It means that the full moon does not shine in either the left Ida Nadi eye or the right eye Pingala Nadi, but in the third eye and Sushumna Nadi, the Nadi of self-realization. So this is a very visionary full moon that can reveal what our soul aspires to, and at the same time will show us what coherently must be done on the material plane in our lives. The moon falls in the Amsha of goddess Tara, who in Vedic culture symbolizes the unstoppable flow of consciousness, and is therefore also known as Dark Saraswati or Nila Saraswati, goddess of divine inspiration that flows through her. And that is interesting because Saraswati Devi dwells in the third eye chakra, where she rules Sattva Guna. Tara is one of the 10 Mahavidyas, tantric wisdom goddesses, and she is the most healing one. She breastfed Lord Shiva after he drank all the poison that emerged from the churning of the Milky Ocean, and therefore he had a fever and was very weak. And as Mother Tara's milk neutralized the poison in Lord Shiva's body, her frequency also neutralizes the poison in our mind, and she does that through acceptance and unconditional love. It is not about fighting or rejecting negative thoughts or vices we may have, or the parts of us that we don't like. Instead, we need to listen to all these voices within, observe our thoughts, our words and behavior. Only when we accept what is there and embrace it all, things can change and transformation can happen. This is how a true guru acts towards his or her students, always kind and never excluding. May it be an outer spiritual teacher or our own inner guidance. That guru is never judgmental, never putting us down, but infinitely nourishing. Interestingly, goddess Tara is the wife of Brihaspati, the guru of the gods, and one of the divine seers known as Pitris. They are sons of Agni, the fire element, and their purpose is to dispel the darkness in the world and within us. And they are also the presiding deity of the constellation of Magha, where the full moon shines in the sky. Magha is a fiery constellation that aims to release the light of the soul. It reminds us that only the body is mortal. Only the body is reduced to ashes by fire. Interestingly, goddess Tara is often worshipped on cremation grounds because she reminds us that only the soul is immortal And it is the soul and not the ahamkara, that is the ego or the person with whom we tend to identify ourselves with, that should be seated on the throne of our being. Throne, palanquin, and royal chamber are the three symbols of the lunar mansion of Magha, and these royal symbols urge us to realign our being and our life with the spiritual purpose of our soul. The planetary ruler of Magha is Ketu, the lunar south node, and a moksha planet, seeking liberation from the wheel of samsara, of being stuck in suffering. By the way, the name of goddess Dada means liberator, and the Shakti, the power of Magha, is Tyaga Kshipani Shakti, the power to leave the body, detachment from the material plane, and access to the astral plane, to information from the divine ancestors who see with clarity. Even so, it does not mean that the aim is leaving the body and leaving planet Earth behind, but not being bound by the body and not attached to the material plane. That means being here in the body, but aware of the soul and the spiritual dimensions. Nevertheless, with Magha, there is always a tendency to escape reality and a particular capacity for astral travel, for out-of-body experiences, for seeing things, a strong intuition and deep insights. Having a look at the chart of the full moon, we see that the moon receives aspects from all other planets except the nodal axis. Sun, Mercury and Saturn stand in opposition to the moon. Jupiter is in trine, and Venus and Mars Rashi aspect the full moon. Only on rare occasions does the full moon receive so many aspects, and it means that reality hits us with a lot of pressure. Either the outer world or our inner voice urges us to fulfill our commitments, to achieve something, to make progress. We might feel that we need to hurry up and be up to the task, meet perhaps high standards, and we probably feel a lot of tension and stress. And at that point, the short-temperedness of fiery Magha and its tendency towards escapism might manifest themselves. We can get easily angry or feel suddenly the need for a big glass of wine, a box of chocolates, a whole night of Netflix, or whatever the drug of our choice is. We can also feel easily alone, somehow different and separated from others, as most Magha natives do. And the best remedy for all these dangers is to stay grounded, with the feet on the ground, preferably in nature, and moving our body, because Magha has a very active mind, but tends to a more tamasic and lazy body. Well grounded, but with the vision of an eagle, and following hopefully a more vegetarian and sattvic diet, we may catch on this full moon glimpses of our own light, the light of our soul, and what the soul aspires to in this life, in this very moment of our life. We must, of course, take time to listen to the inner voice, cultivating silence, going in meditation and contemplation, and having overall awareness, being the observer in witness consciousness. And we are asked, due to this alignment between the sixth and the first chakra during this full moon, to act in coherence in the tangible reality of our everyday life. Leo and Magha are located in the southern direction, whilst goddess Tada is linked to the northeast, which is why we should place in either of them in our home a candle, because it is a full moon in a fire sign and in a fiery lunar mansion, and an image of goddess Tada, as well as a flower for Brihaspati, the outer or inner guru. In some illustrations, goddess Tada holds a blue lotus flower in one of her hands, which is a rare lotus from the heights of the Himalaya, and a symbol for returning to our innate pure beauty, which reveals itself when we are connected to our inner self, the divine self, with all its access to divine qualities as beauty and seeing the truth. So if we can find a blue flower, we can put it on our altar. We can imagine in our third eye that we offer all our toxic thoughts, our toxic behavior, and all our limited identifications to what is perishable, to Goddess Tada. And we do that lovingly and without judgments towards ourselves. And we can chant the mantra that Sage Vashishta, one of the 7 rishis, received from Goddess Tada for liberating the mind from its various poisons in order to see clearly. Om Strim Rim Hum Pat. Om Strim Rim Hum Pat. Om Strim Rim Hum Pat. That is a very powerful mantra, and I hope you do find it helpful. Thank you for your time, and many blessings from my heart to yours.